Hello again and welcome to Music Matters with MonkeyBoy and Ziggy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Well, I always love seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean...
It's always a pleasure to get together.
As I was driving to the Monkey Cage today, I was like, I just can't wait to see Andy.
Yeah.
I can't wait to discuss music with Andy.
It's going to be a good time. I always look forward to you coming over here as well.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Today, we're going to talk about music discovery.
Yeah.
How it used to be, how it is now. It's actually headed in a kind of scary direction.
Yeah.
Right? So, we're going to discuss that today.
All right.
I do want to, again, remind everyone that the next episode is going to be about concerts.
Yes.
From beginning to end, from the concert announcement to the time you walk out of the venue. We're going to have our friend Jason Luck in here.
Yep.
You're a professional concert goer, so am I.
Yeah.
So is he.
Yep.
We'll explain what that is. But yeah, everything concerts, so that's going to come up in the next episode. But let's go ahead and dive into what we got going on today.
All right, so we decided we'd start off with a couple of discoveries of our own, things that we found this week that we thought were cool, and we'd pass them along, right?
Yes.
All right, so this week we've got 3 songs each, right?
Well, I only have 2, but you go with 3, man.
Okay, all right. I will. The first song I got this week that I thought was good, Elton John and Brandi Carlile, "Swingin' for the Fences." For a pop song, that's catchy.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I've listened to it several times this week.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
If you're
Not
a fan
bad.
of Elton John, you'll definitely love that. Got a little more of a rock twinge to it, which I like. It's good return to.
And Brandi Carlile is great.
Oh, she can sing the alphabet.
She can sing the alphabet.
Yeah.
We should all deep dive into more Brandi Carlile.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What was your first one?
Well, I just have 2 bands that I've just kind of started to get into this week. A very interesting band by the name of Glass Beams.
Glass Beams?
Yes, I encourage you to listen to that. I really can't describe it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good. And I did bring up this artist in one of the last couple of podcasts. This artist called Young Miko. Young Miko. She's phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a hip-hop artist.
Got a couple songs you can throw?
Again, I think I decided to listen to
the whole
Young Miko on Friday, and I don't really have a favorite yet.
Okay.
Just kind of getting into it.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. These are just kind of getting into songs.
Yeah.
For sure. Doiche. I hope I said that. Dochi.
Yeah, Dochi.
See, I don't know how to pronounce. I sound like what's his name from WKRP. Chichi Rodriguez.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I think we've said in this podcast.
Or Chai Rodriguez.
Often you'll be caught off guard by some of these, but it's understandable. And, again, this podcast is about looking the songs and the artists of everybody.
Yeah.
Just kind of broaden your horizons, give something a chance. And so you're going to have to do that, and you'll get familiar with, with these artists. I mean, last podcast, I think you said Rose, and it's Rose.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you just put the little mark above the last letter, you would have known.
I would have had it.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that.
Yeah, so it's going to happen from time to time. How about, do you have any favorite songs of the week?
Let's see. I've got 5 favorite songs of the week.
Okay.
Volbeat, their new one called By a Monster's Hand.
I like that. There's something different about his singing, but I do know that he had some throat difficulties or singing difficulties.
Yeah,
and
I think they've worked with,
But I'm glad that Volbeat's back. They're one of my favorite bands.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely has that Metallica feel that they always kind of bring, so I like it. Yeah.
Right.
Very much. Ghost, Satanized.
That's a love song.
It is.
Did you know that?
No. But
well, I listened to it 12 times in a row, and when I got to the end, I'm like, that's a love song.
Nice.
It's good, though.
I like it. I've only heard it twice.
It's great to have Ghost back.
Yeah, I love Ghost. I saw him live in 2019, I think it was.
Yeah.
In Sioux Falls. Great show.
Yeah, I was at that show, I believe.
Yeah, I think you were.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Yeah, awesome show. Here's one I thought was interesting. It's Kitty. Remember them?
Well, Kitty reformed here, I think, in the last year or two.
Yeah. Yep.
They
are back, and they teamed up with Diamante. Do you know who she is?
Well, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love her, especially when she had the blue hair.
Yeah, the blue hair.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
She was just awesome. Loved it. But they did a cover of The Unforgiven by Metallica. And it's for the Queen of the Ring soundtrack, which is that movie out. Is it out now? I don't know if it's out right now.
I think we're like...
It's coming out.
A week or two off from that. Yeah.
But it's coming. Anyway, and it is interesting. It's not anything you would expect from Kitty, that's for sure. And it's good. It's interesting.
I promise to listen to that.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Remember Bryan Adams?
Yes, Bryan Adams. Yeah, legend.
He's got a brand new song. It's called "Make Up Your Mind."
Mm-hmm.
I really like it for a Bryan Adams song. It's pretty good. It's like, it reminds me of like '90s Bryan Adams.
Yeah,
the best kind. Well. Yeah. 80s Bryan Adams was pretty good too. 80s and 90s Bryan Adams were peak Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams is a good example of. We've had musical conversations with people, and they go, "Oh, I didn't know that person or that band was still around."
Yeah.
Well, Bryan Adams has continued to release albums.
Yep.
About every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You go see him live today, you won't tell any difference, I don't think.
Sounds exactly
the
same.
When he was
yeah.
singing in the 80s, putting on great shows,
Yep.
he's out there doing it.
Yeah.
Richard Marx out there doing it.
Same, yeah. Mm-hmm. Same, doing and releasing new music as well.
Right.
The last one I got for you, and this is another older band, but they're back with a brand new song. The Darkness, remember them?
Oh,
I Believe in a Thing Called
great.
Love? Yeah.
Have you ever watched his I don't know, he does these videos on YouTube. He
I don't think
reaction
I have.
videos. He reacts
yes, yeah, I have seen that.
And he plucks his guitar and sings his own theme song, and he's just great. He's a character, and I love The Darkness.
Yeah, well, they got a new song called "Walking Through Fire," and I really, really dig that tune as well.
I really want to sing the song.
I believe in a thing called love.
Yeah,
just
but
through the
yeah. Well, thank you for doing it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So
I have no problem embarrassing myself.
I know, it's all right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about too. A young lady by the name of Haley Knox in a song called "Truce."
Okay.
She is one of thousands of people that make music in their front room or bedroom.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and so she does that. She does have a record deal and label support and whatnot. Number 2, an up-and-coming country artist, Mackenzie Carpenter. She released an album just on Friday. She has a song climbing the charts with another country band, everyone knows but you, Midland. I wish you would.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Number 3, one of my favorite bands, Architects.
Yes.
Their record is out.
Love it.
They've got a banger that was released called Black Hole. It's a banger.
Yes.
Number 4, another band I like, Lacuna Coil.
Yeah.
I Wish You Were Here.
That's a great tune.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And one that was on your list, Ghost Sanitized.
Yes.
Yeah. So, great minds think alike.
Great tunes.
That's right.
I tried to, get out of my comfort zone a little bit on my picks this week.
Yeah.
So I mean the Discover ones. So of course my top 5 were of course rock.
Yeah, well, I've kind of planned now to deep dive into Latin music and K-pop. So I could have told you about all these K-pop artists, but you would have been like, huh? So, you know.
You have introduced me to some K-pop.
Oh, yeah.
And also, what was the other one you introduced me to? Nope, I'm not going to remember it.
Not going to remember. Okay.
But it was interesting. It was something I would definitely never have listened to.
Was it Ashniko?
It might have been.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Okay. Well.
We do so much of this.
Maybe to help your memory, maybe check out Ashniko, and if you go, oh yeah, I heard this thing, and check it out.
That was it. Yeah. I'll bet that was it.
Yeah. So, yeah, music discovery, man. We're both doing it. We always do it. I unintentionally just go down these rabbit holes.
Me too.
And I come out with a couple of rabbits.
Yep. I always do as well, and I love that. It's one of my favorite things to do all week.
How do you think? Well, music. Where do you think it starts, really?
Well, it starts way back, just pounding on rocks and whatever.
Well, sure.
And singing.
Yeah. Making the sounds of animals.
Yep.
Yeah. Bone flutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Flute made from a vulture wing bone. Yep.
Interesting.
Dating back 42,000 years.
Damn, that's a long time ago.
Bear's femur bone. A bear's femur bone with holes in it was discovered in Slovenia. I know that you have one of these. I accidentally found it down here in the monkey cage last week. A Neolithic flute.
I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure my wife has it.
Yeah, it's probably from her personal collection of oddities. Flutes made from crane bones. Yeah. Discovered in central China. Early music would have been clapping.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oral music.
Yes.
You got one? Yeah, like the Tibetan monks, we all know about the Tibetan monks. And
wow, I'm getting pretty low on that one. I'm impressed myself there. That's good.
Drumming.
Yep.
And, of course, singing.
That was the origin. Yeah, that's where it started. That's how things kind of got, started.
Mm-hmm. Chinese leaders added musical instruments like drums, chimes, and ocarinas to their tombs. Yep.
Nice.
So, of course, we advanced greatly.
So much so, and thank God.
Well, this is. We've got a long way to go in this process here.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, the first reel-to-reel tape recorder for everyday use was the magnetophone, 1935.
I didn't have one of those, but I did have a reel-to-reel player.
Okay, when do you think that was unveiled?
It was the one I have was probably 1960s, I'd say, 65, 66 maybe, somewhere in there.
Okay, when was the compact cassette invented?
Oh, that's a good question.
I will tell you that it was before the 8-track tape.
I kind of thought it was. I want to say like 69?
63.
Oh, I was off.
8-track tape, 65.
Okay.
Everybody's favorite, and in fact, the generation now might be seen with one of these. The Walkman.
Ah, yes.
1979. Compact disc, 1982.
Can't forget the record player.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm just giving a few examples here. I mean, I wouldn't take a break, and I can, look up the phonograph. So, for back to the 60s.
Okay.
So you have all of these things that are coming out, but something has to go on them. It's called music.
Right.
And the first form of music is live music. That's what you did. You had to go somewhere for live music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in order for something to go on these, you have to discover these artists. We can remember that was done by showcases. If we can talk about Motley Crue and Van Halen as good examples.
Oh yeah.
They were playing in these big clubs in Los Angeles, and you had big clubs over on the East Coast as well.
Yep.
And they would get a fan following, and someone might catch wind about Motley Crue, and then a label exec or a team of label people will fly in, unaware to the band, and watch them.
Yep.
And then the next process would be a showcase in front of them, and if they liked you, then you recorded music.
Got signed.
Yeah, you got signed. You recorded music, and then right away they were very scrupulous of that first effort, and whatever. But that still goes on today.
Oh yeah.
South by Southwest Festival, there are a lot of album executives that attend that, checking out the smaller stages there. Discovering artists.
Oh yeah.
And signing artists. So I was kind of surprised at which volume that still occurs, because today
there's so many ways to get your music out there now.
So many ways. It's like a seismic shift.
Yeah.
From what it used to be.
I mean, the days where you go and you talk to a record label and you get a music deal and that whole process. I mean, it's still happening to an extent, but there's just so many other easier ways, just doing it by yourself, getting it out there, putting it on YouTube. YouTube has made so many stars.
Yeah.
Just from them sitting in their room creating music.
And now we'll talk briefly about radio. You can drive around this country listening to whatever genre station that you want, and I think that you are going to hear in pop radio the same 15 to 20, maybe 25 songs around the country. Probably going to be the case for the other genres, because what's controlling a lot of music today and discovery is algorithms.
Yeah.
And AI.
Yep.
And as we've discussed, we're never going to get into AI on this podcast because we are just not qualified.
No, it's just way above our heads.
But that's a very scary part of that. But, we'll kind of touch on that, in a bit. But, the algorithm is very interesting. Let's just talk about Spotify.
Oh yeah, they've got so many different...
Well, something new popped up on there, or maybe I just discovered that a few weeks ago. But there is a day list, and you click on that day list, and I listened to a day list of country the other day. Next day it was metal, a K-pop thing. Another day it was like a mix of music, and they're doing the algorithm and going, well, what's
he digging?
Yeah,
what's he listening
to?
Yeah.
And let's talk about Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, and other artists last year. Are they popular? Did they have the success they had because of those algorithms?
It had to be a little bit. I mean, people discovered them through those algorithms.
But what if it had been 5 other artists or four other artists that if that algorithm wasn't so manipulative, would have been other people. But we do know in radio, TV, whatever, that these algorithms are at work. And in many ways, we're being fed only what maybe the music industry
wants us to hear.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if all you play is Taylor Swift all the time, well, obviously, that's going to increase that fan base. But what if the algorithm didn't make Taylor Swift play too much? You might have more emerging artists.
For sure.
Yeah. And then, AI is it's a completely different thing. It's not going to go anywhere. It's very scary.
Well, it knows sometimes more than we know.
Yeah.
Well, it for sure knows more than we know.
Yeah.
I mean, it just does.
Well, and there's been a lot of artists of all genres with a comment on it. Some of them are pro, and many more are not into it.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere, and they're going to have to learn to understand it. And because
the weird thing is, like, it's there's cloning now of people's voices and deep fakes and things like that are happening, that I can see where the artist is like, hey man, it's not me.
Yeah.
But you're making money off something that sounds exactly like me.
Right.
Without paying me. Yeah, I'd have a problem with that too.
Well, in 2025, we might see the first 100% AI-generated pop hit go viral on social media.
You think so?
It's what's in front of me, man.
It's crazy. It's
yeah. And I will tell you that we might be able to spot that.
I would think you could, because when you listen to an AI song, because I've listened to a couple, you can just tell it when listening to it. It has no human, touch to it. There's nothing there. There's no feeling there. It's just bleh.
Yeah, but I think we understand that it's going to get better.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is.
It's going to get better.
It learns all the time.
Yeah,
that's what it does.
It's learning all the time.
Yeah.
And I fear that the younger generation is going to get duped and fooled.
A lot.
And that they're going to get taken for...
I think everybody could get fooled by it.
Well, yeah, you're going to get taken for your money.
Yeah.
And that person is never going to perform live because they're an AI person.
Yeah.
So it's scary about that. It's something that's going to also, those deep fakes and whatnot, is going to take money away from legitimate artists.
Yeah.
That is the thing about AI that's scary in the music industry is the manipulation of money.
Yeah.
And profits and streams and views and whatnot.
Yeah, because, we talked about, what was it, last episode? We talked about how little people make off of Spotify hits. Like, is pennies, less than pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad.
But, AI is, it's presenting opportunities for artists to increase the frequency at which they're seen and heard.
Yep.
But like we said, the list of risks is, I think, is large and scary.
Yeah, it is.
Have you ever written a song?
I have not.
You've never written a song with
AI?
AI?
No, I'm not.
I did a couple of them. I have to tell you, it's like, this is horrible. I hated it. I can't imagine anyone wanting to dupe people like that. But whatever. So artificial streaming isn't a new phenomenon. As we know, Spotify's cracking down on the illegitimate streaming in an attempt to straighten out the distribution of royalties, which they really thoroughly suck at.
Yeah, they're bad.
I use Spotify, but I think
I don't know where I want to go to get music, honestly.
Yeah. I'm hoping that maybe that'll be looked at.
Some rich billionaire needs to come up with a good way. Maybe a rich musician should come up with a way for the musicians to actually make money when, they're selling.
Well, that's why everyone hated Napster way back in the day.
Oh,
Because
Napster killed it. Napster absolutely killed the music industry 100% dead.
Yes.
It was,
yeah.
It just killed it.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to buy or pay for anything anymore because they could just download it.
Right.
And I can't blame them either. And I know I have downloaded a few songs in my time. I have. And I'm sure that I did not pay for such songs on certain ones back in the day, way long ago.
Yeah,
but I was also a teenager, and that's why.
Right. I mean, I wanted to get what I wanted to get too. So I use Napster.
Yep. Used it a lot.
And look how far we've come. I mean,
yeah. Now we're against it. We were totally for Napster back in the day. We were like, this is awesome. We're getting all our music, all our videos, everything we want right there in the palm of our hands. It only takes 24 hours to download it, and we'll have it there.
Right.
It took forever to download. Man, I remember making the whole, you wanted to download all those songs so you could make your mix CD. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Loved making some mix CDs. God, I made so many.
Yeah. Every now and then I wouldn't get a high quality song, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's always some trash song that you'd have on there.
Right.
I had a lot of trash songs on. I listen to a lot of trash music. I do. But I love it. I don't care. I will listen to 80s hair music till the day I die. And that's a hill I will stand on happily.
Yeah. I guess you're an 80s super fan.
You got it,
80s
man.
Super fan, which, by the way, is kind of how these artists are getting it done.
Yeah.
Because
they're relying on their older fans.
There are billions of artists every day in the studio, in their bedroom, in a garage, record music, wanting to upload it to streaming sites. Again, we can talk about Spotify. Thousands of new tracks every day.
Yeah.
But there's the algorithm.
Yep.
Right?
It's telling you what
if
you should
don't
discover.
Get, I believe the number is 1,000. If you don't get 1,000 streams a day or something, Spotify won't even look at you.
Yep.
So and it's really
How do
really
they
unfair.
Get their,
but
how do they get their numbers up?
Taylor Swift is a good example of an artist that has super fans.
Oh yeah.
Okay, they have made her a lot of money. They have supported her in every way, shape, and form, buying the shirts, the hats, the music, the posters,
everything.
Going to the concerts.
Yep.
And
those tickets are not cheap.
They're not cheap, and there is almost complete engagement there.
100%.
Because of her super fans.
Yeah.
And there's other artists. Tons of them that have super fans.
Yes.
That really make or break their career. And I think, I'm a fan of a lot of up and coming artists and bands that I go, why am I not hearing this on the radio? Why am I not, why is it so hard to find this on Spotify? I'll find them on Instagram or TikTok or something and go, oh, well, this is kind of buried deep here.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have those super fans, and you know, we know Taylor Swift fans are sitting and watching the videos.
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
Yeah. So, you know, let's just kind of sidestep and MTV. The MTV we know is no longer around.
No, but that was a huge way people discovered music.
But artists are still producing as many videos.
Oh yeah,
as they were
back in the day.
And they're spending thousands to produce these videos.
Yep.
And
we just talked about one, Bryan Adams.
And I mean, where do you watch these videos? YouTube.
YouTube's the only place really that I can think of.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a pretty big business there. I bet they get millions of hits. At least some of the bigger bands.
Well, I mean, you can scroll through YouTube and bring up any artist you want, and you know, see how many views they got, and
right.
You know,
I'm sure they're getting paid for that.
The K-pop group Blackpink, you know, check them out and see how many. I mean, billions and billions of streams. Mariah Carey, billions and billions of streams.
Oh yeah. Doesn't surprise me at all.
You know, so it is an outlet. It's just weird that they still have those, the VH1 and MTV, you know, on, you know, to stream on TV. But
yeah, you can stream them on YouTube. You can find like certain days of the week where they, you know, did certain things like, was it New Rock they played, or they had a new Headbangers Ball or something.
Yeah.
You can find all those shows on YouTube.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
That was a huge way to discover music. Everybody had to get their video out, and if you look back in the day, it was usually like a top 50 playlist, I think they had.
Yeah.
And each week they'd get you about 50 videos, and they'd have a certain section of like 4 to 5 new videos. There, of course, there are power videos, ones you'd always hear all the time.
Total Request Live, you know. But
there was a format, though, as to how it would go.
Yeah, but, you know, as far as, you know, like the Headbangers Ball, I discovered a lot of music off there. You know,
for sure.
A lot of bands.
It took them a while to get to different kinds of music, though. And in the 80s especially, MTV focused very heavily on your pop and your hard rock.
Yeah.
That was your two that you would get. You would get like your Madonnas, you would get your Cyndi Laupers, you would get your Peter Gabriels.
And then there was also CMT.
Yep.
That came out as well, you know, for the...
That was a little later, though.
Huh?
That was a little later, though.
It was a little later.
It was mid-'80s
or
late 80s, I want to say.
But that was a discovery point for the country fan base.
Yep. VH1, of course, came along as well. That was... Remember when it first came out, though, that was bad. Those were bad days. They didn't play very good music at all. I want to say I heard... The best song I heard on there was Beach Boys' Kokomo.
Yeah.
And that was few and far between. It was very light, very... K-soft, if you know, that was what you would hear. It was basically their playlist.
Yeah, they started off rough, but you know, they turned it around and and it became something good. But I mean, you only had, you know, we're talking about the early days of MTV. You had that outlet and you had your local radio station.
Yep. Those were pretty much it. And then of course, if you wanted those songs, you had to go buy them. You know, back in the day, you had to go to Sam Goody, Musicland, and then you would get... I know I would spend hours just looking at all the different music. Like, I'd have to see the records, I'd take a look at the photographs, the covers, I would check out the track listing, and then I, of course, had to listen to some, too, and they had these listening stations there that you could listen to them and decide if you wanted to buy them or
put
not.
the headphones on or just
you could just jam out.
So, you know, going back to, you know, to the music you love, you know, the 80s hard rock, and well, you like 80s completely, and I'm not saying I don't like either. I'm just I'm just not in bed with it like Andy is.
You're right. Yeah,
And
you're not living in the past. You're living in today. I am thoroughly stuck in 1990, easily.
But so you didn't, even back then in radio, they didn't play everything.
No, God no.
That was out there, that was on MTV or CMT. So I'm gonna bring up, you didn't. I'm not a big fan of the band Trickster. Okay, you would have not. You didn't, when Trickster started. You didn't immediately hear him on the radio. You had to see him on MTV, and then you called your radio station.
Yeah.
And you said, play this, and if enough people called and said, play that, they would have it sent to them, and they'd put the record on, or they'd put the cassette in, or however.
Do you remember another thing that radio stations did to gauge as to whether they liked the songs or not? They would actually call people and do cold calling and they would be, what do you think of this song? Do you like this song? What do you think of this this artist? What do you think of this DJ? What do you think of, and they would ask you all these questions, and that's how they got their information, and then, that led to getting ratings.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, it's, but now it's, I guess, kind of, radio-wise, it's in the same spot, but now we have
radio-wise, it's just iHeart. That's pretty much what you got.
Well,
there's a couple of others, but
we are going to, in a future podcast, which I'll say often on this, we are going to talk about the connection between radio, concert venues, managers, record labels, and how they're in bed together.
Very much so.
And we're going to point that in many ways you are being taken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, that certain company that you're discussing.
Yes.
Right. Is, you're being musically controlled.
Yeah, you're listening to these songs that they picked, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's not a lot of them either. They don't give you a lot to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, I'd say 50 songs total, maybe, that they rotate.
Yeah. There's a great radio station that I listen to when I'm going to see my children in Ames, or, if I'm maybe going beyond that, called The Bus.
Okay.
It's a great station, plays, nothing but hits. And our friend Dave posted about that the other day. He was driving that way, and I'm okay with stations like that really give you a variety.
Yeah.
To the good old days of Grandpa, the good old days
of radio,
of music.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't hear everything, but you heard a lot more than you have in the last 25 years in radio.
For sure.
Yeah, I figured that you would, that you would agree.
Yeah, there's been, they just keep cutting things, it seems, and now it's just whatever the top is in the 15 minutes in intervals, and then they just rehash it and rehash it and rehash it and rehash it. Because they're expecting you only to listen for about 15 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
And that's about it.
The attention span.
Yeah.
15 minutes, I agree that, or I would say that in certain circumstances, musically and with videos, that it's even shorter than.
Oh yeah. If it doesn't grab you right away.
How long is something on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You have the people that are on there for hours doing whatever they're beating and showing their shoes and whatever.
Yeah. Dancing.
Dancing. Speaking of which, dancing on TikTok. I had to stop at a local gas station last night to get a little bit of gas.
Okay.
And I'm sitting in my car getting ready to get out, and I see this young lady put her phone on the outside window. and she starts, and then she's got her headphones on, and she just starts dancing there and singing to this song, and her boyfriend, I assume that they're probably in their mid-20s or something, is just standing there watching her. She did it for about 10 seconds and stopped it, and I was just like, what? I don't have time to do that. I'm not trying to be a fuddy-duddy, but it's like...
That's entertainment now, man.
I'm not going to do it out in public. Anyway.
That's the thing.
You know, videos. They're very important. They are.
Yeah.
Right now, because a song is fine, but you have to have an image to go with it.
Yes, you do.
People. And so a lot of these music streaming sites now also include the video there.
Yep. At least parts of it. Like you'll get sections of it.
I know that Spotify does at least parts of it, and it'll link you to where you can go to watch the whole video.
Yeah.
But that's incredible for people being able to put a face to the name of the song.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, it's just, I don't know. I think you should make a video, Andy. Put it on TikTok.
My Tom Petty cover band.
Your Tom Petty cover band.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of TikTok, we still know that what could happen this year is TikTok could be banned.
That is a possibility.
Yeah. ByteDance, the Chinese company, there's going to be some legal challenges. I think some of those are going on now, but the government, past and present, has encouraged them and pretty much told them to divest the company, to sell it to an American corporation, because, of course, the question there is our private information being shared with foreign governments like China, maybe Russia?
Right.
And so our government wants to get control of that, and I don't want TikTok to go away. I think we all know creators on TikTok.
Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot of them. Personal friends that I support, that I know are making a little bit of cash off that's supporting them and their families or whatever. It's getting them through school. It's getting, helping make a car payment, helping to further create on the platform. I don't want it to go away, but I would like it to be controlled here.
Yeah, I look at it this way: your information's pretty much out there for all to see anyway. Whether it be China, Russia, or anybody, it's not hard for them to get our stuff, especially now. So, what's the difference?
Well, I think time will tell.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's...
if they really want to know, I've been listening to CeeLo Green's Forget You for the past 5 days. Well, then they, I guess, know that now. Congrats.
Well, yeah, but, this is, again, a topic that goes to, I think, really... like talking about AI, It's like, the network systems. That's for
way above our pay grade.
That's above our what are you paying me?
That's why I'm saying it's way above our pay grade.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, we would like to pay each other, but with the price of eggs right now,
right? We just use eggs.
Yeah, right.
It's coffee too.
Coffee, yeah. By the way, I do appreciate the 1 cup you gave me today.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. So, let's talk about trends.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Because with streaming, with the algorithms, with AI, things are always changing. We discussed on a previous episode the genres and the percentage of people that listen to those.
Yep.
And how that just is constantly rock, pop, R&B, hip-hop. Those are just always flowing. They might not change in a year, they might change 3 times in a year. And so, what was the trend last year? It was, I think, just in regards to pop music, and I think in country music, that there was a great increase in females.
Okay.
Female entertainers. And I think that was a great trend.
Yeah.
I think it was a great trend. We do see a trend in heavy music, the heavy music that we listen to.
Yep.
We're seeing an increase in females there as well.
For sure.
Increase in females in hip hop.
Yep.
That's a great trend. But
yep.
Things are always just changing. Hip hop actually is expected to trend down.
Really?
This year.
Interesting.
Not a big deviation, but Afro House. It's a genre of music that is increasing. Shoegaze. K-pop is the number 2 thing that's expected to really trend over this next year. Hyperpop. I played just some hyperpop.
Yeah, I played. Yeah.
So a few examples. But just everything's just always changing. With everything, you're going to go on TikTok, and maybe the same 5 artists from last year aren't going to be as big this year because
right.
the next 5 might come up. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case this year because Chappell Roan, who we've discussed, has a new record coming out. I don't see that momentum stopping.
No, she'll probably be even bigger.
Yeah. Another pop artist, Tate McRae, was big last year. She currently has 6 songs from her brand new album in the top 100.
Wasn't she on Saturday Night Live?
Just a couple
recently?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
I thought so.
And that goes for, I'd say people like Hardy.
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen. Teddy Swims. Jelly Roll. I think they're going to continue to further success this year, but
for sure,
there's always someone on their heels, and it just takes enough people streaming a song, watching a video.
Yep.
Boom, goes viral.
And then
we all know somebing. Somebody
off to the races.
Somebody did something stupid, and
oh yeah,
you get it posted. You posted at 7, and by 7:20 you got 5 billion views.
Yep.
Yeah. SoundCloud revival.
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
That is a name I haven't heard in quite a while.
Well, it's not gonna come back.
Yeah.
As big as it was, but
right.
It's an outlet really to help, I think, the more independent artists.
Yeah.
Denzel Curry. Do you know who he is?
No.
21 Savage.
Okay, yeah, I know who he is.
Little Uzi Vert.
Yep.
You got the T-shirt on him. Okay, those are artists that with the
I think
revival,
I've seen both of them.
Yeah, but with the SoundCloud revival, that's kind of where they came from, where their music was found. So, I mean, nothing wrong with getting on SoundCloud. I have a couple of musician friends that put their music directly on there.
Yeah.
So, it's nice that some of those things haven't disappeared. In fact, I believe, is MySpace still out there?
It is still out there.
I believe that's all about music now, right? MySpace?
Pretty much, yeah.
Timberlake had something to do with that. I don't know. He owns 1% or
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And it's all about it's all about videos.
That's cool.
Yeah. So let's talk about some people that have gotten known from TikTok. You ready?
Sure.
Jack Harlow.
Don't know him.
Walker Hayes.
Don't know him.
Little Nas X.
Don't know him.
Doja Cat.
I've heard of Doja Cat.
Olivia Rodrigo.
I've heard of her.
Billie Eilish.
Yes, I know her.
Addison Rae.
No.
Okay, these are relatively, younger artists, of course. Megan Thee Stallion.
I've heard of her.
Karol G.
No.
Oh, man. You got to go. Oh, Karol G. She's like the top Latin artist.
I'll have to check her out.
Yeah. Oh, you put her on, man. Your hips move.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. You clean the house. You clean the house.
There you go.
Great.
All right.
Lizzo.
Yep, I know Lizzo.
Maneskin.
I've heard of them.
Roddy Ricch.
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Bailey Zimmerman.
No.
Country artist. Really good country artist, by the way. Pink Panthers.
No.
All right. Something for you to check out.
All right.
Lil Yachty.
No.
Priscilla Block.
No.
Okay, country artist. Just a few of them.
Yeah, I am not familiar with those. There's so many genres I need to get caught up on because I don't know them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been spending a lot of time over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I get to wear an earbud at work, which is great.
Yeah.
Because I work in a lab that's more like a mortuary as far as quiet, and I can't do it. So I listen to throughout the day. I try to mix up the genres, and then pretty soon I've got my day list that is a mix of all this kind of stuff. And you can go on a lot of these streaming sites, and what's the one on Spotify? Discover Music.
Yeah, Discover.
It gives you a playlist for you of new artists to check out in any genre, and you can just go down the rabbit hole. And I do that a lot at work.
Yeah, I love to do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, it's the best thing to do. I mean, I don't get tired of really any artist, but it's just nice to find something new. I had no idea what some of this stuff was. In fact, discovering music. I was going to talk about this in another episode, but I've kind of stopped studying metalcore.
Okay.
Okay. It was metalcore kind of came out is kind of the new wave of American metal.
Yep.
Late 90s, early 2000s. Bands like Killswitch Engage is a good one. Trivium.
Yeah.
Now, you know that I didn't listen to that.
Yeah.
Until about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the hard rock of the 80s like you liked.
Yep.
I'm into the 3 Days Grace Breaking Benjamin Hailstorm hard rock.
Yeah.
I had listened to Metallica and Megadeth in the 80s, and that was really heavy. And there were other bands, Saxon and
Anthrax.
Anthrax. And that was, if you will recall, the devil's music.
Yes.
That was really hard and intolerable.
Yep.
But in the late 90s and early 2000s, metalcore happened.
Yeah.
And Metallica are legends, not bashing on them. But you listen to some of the music today, it's heavier than Metallica.
Oh, way heavier than Metallica.
Way heavier than Metallica. A lot of it is melodic. A lot of it is, now I'm not talking that I listen to like black metal and where they burn down the churches in other countries to black metal.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I do listen to like Lorna Shore, which is bands like that, they don't have singers. They have vocalists.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing the growls and the blast.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and
things
all
that I can't make my voice do.
Right.
Yes.
You know, so I listen to some heavy bands like Lorna Shore and Chelsea Grin and Enterprise Earth. But I would have never listened to any of that stuff previous to 7 years ago. I just thought, you know what? I have a musical barrier there. I was always interested. And I honestly thought, you know what? This will make me look cool to my boys if I start listening to this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And so 7 years ago, I just jumped down the rabbit hole. And a lot of what, you know, when I say heavy music, it's bands that fit right in with 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin. You know, there's that kind of metalcore out there. There's, you know, pop metalcore and and there is that death stuff. But I have about 29 playlists in Spotify dating back over those 7 years. There's like 8 hours of music in each one. A lot of it I could probably get rid of now, but I've discovered so many bands.
Oh, yeah.
You know, bands that I absolutely love now, like Architects.
Yes.
Architects is great.
Yeah, they are.
I still love Trivium.
Yeah, they're great.
I didn't know who Mastodon was before 7
they're
years
awesome
ago.
too.
I didn't. Ghost, Volbeat.
Yep.
I mean, just tons and tons of heavy music people. I mean, heavy music is a giant umbrella.
Yes.
As we've discussed, we could talk about metal and the subgenres, but we would be here for days.
Yes.
And no one would really care.
No.
If we talked about that.
That's true.
So we just put it under the umbrella of heavy music. And I'm just really glad I did. I'm really glad I did that. Because not everyone is going to be able to understand what these vocalists are saying.
True.
But do you know, to a large degree, I know what they're saying now.
That's awesome.
And it's stuff that might scare some people, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put this on. You know, I mean, you can look up the words, but you have to...
Right. You have to be able to figure it out.
You have to be able to figure it out. So I'm glad I did that. I'm excited to be deep diving into K-pop. A lot of it, I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're saying.
It's a different language.
But it's all stuff that just makes you want to move. It's all stuff that want to, you know. And I'm really diving into Latin music, which is good because I think that's going to come up. We'll discuss that, and I think we have a friend in mind to maybe discuss that with us. But Latin music is what makes the world go around.
Yeah, a lot of people listen to that.
A lot of people listen to it. Clubs and festivals are packed.
For sure.
Again, I am not currently studying the language. Nor am I
a little.
I'm not studying, the Korean language and whatnot either.
Right.
I'll just listen to the songs, and then if I really need to know what they're saying, I'm gonna get that app.
Yeah.
Duolingo.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
there
use
you
that.
go. I'll get that. Yeah. You might want to think about that too.
I have it. I
do
use
you?
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have used it. It's
you?
good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Spanish. I wanted to know what some people were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So, so there's that, and I just think when you're listening to music, it's God, why not check out something else? Again, you've professed many times that you love the 80s hard rock.
Yep.
But you are listening to new stuff. You're opening your mind.
Yep.
Did you do this before?
Not a whole lot. I was pretty much stuck in my genres.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to pop a little bit, but for the most part, it was rock. Different types of rock,
Mm-hmm.
but it was rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always was rock.
Well, and I there's periods, obviously, of music that I like. You know, I hate to bring up the world again.
Yeah, I know.
But
it is true.
It's the only way to bounce back.
I'm almost 50, dude.
Yeah, yeah, well, good for you. I'm not
I know
revealing
you're
my
older.
age. But, you know, I love that adult contemporary music of the 1970s. Your Pablo Cruz, your Ambrosia. Bread, Firefall.
Yeah.
You know, dare I say Air Supply?
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, Air Supply out on tour now.
Yeah, they still are.
They still are, and God bless them.
Yeah.
You know, I love listening to that stuff.
Me too.
Maybe a couple weeks a year. There's a lot of the 80s pop that I love.
I will throw on some Billy Joel any day of the week.
Well, yeah, see, but I just, you know, even some of those playlists of the heavy music, it's like, okay, I want something different today.
Yeah.
So I try to go find something different.
Me too.
You know, I might listen to something different for 10 minutes and go, okay, I think I'll go back. But,
right.
You know, it all depends, and I think that's a fun thing about, you know, that's what you and I are encouraging here is to, you know, if we talk about something, a band or an artist, nothing wrong with, hey, just bring it up.
Yep.
If the first 12 seconds doesn't impress you, hey, that's okay.
Right.
We'll bring something up the next episode, too.
Yeah, you may find something new the next time.
Right.
Speaking of, we're getting about an hour here.
Well, I'm done talking to you.
All right.
I'm done talking to you. But if you don't get tired of Andy's voice, you...
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, well, they can listen to you on your radio station.
They can. On the weekends, I have a couple of shows. I have Real Rock Nights with Shep. One of my all-time best friends has got his countdown going on, top 20 hard rock, active rock songs you can check out. That's on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. and Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Then you can hear me on Dad Rock Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. and The Underground Sunday nights at 7 p.m. And that's all at MonkeyBoyRadio.com.
All right. I do not have a radio station.
Yeah. I've been telling you need to get one.
Yeah, I don't, so I don't really have any promotion. I want to say again that the next episode we get to have our friend Jason Luck in.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It'll be great. I can guarantee he's going to be wearing shorts.
Yeah, he wears shorts constantly.
He wears shorts constantly, so I say we should probably be in our shorts too.
All right, I'll try. I can't guarantee I can make it.
It's been a blast, Monkey Boy.
All right, thank you very much, Ziggy. And this has been Music Matters. Thanks for joining us.